Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that music. Welcome to the podcast. I'm Andrew Chavone.
And I'm Steven Rogers.
Great to join us. Let me just see what it looks like without my filter here. Yeah, I'm thinking I'm going to turn it back on. That's like a scary movie reveal.
That box is still there?
Yeah. Good Lord.
Just break it down.
I should really put that in my vision board. Just a crumpled up box. I can't believe it's still there either.
It's still there.
And there's more. It's reproduced. It's a couple more boxes. The whole family.
It's laying eggs.
It is.
Egg cartons.
Yeah. So great to see you, man. It's we're doing this remote. Where are you? I don't even know.
I'm in Reno, Nevada.
You're like Carmen Sandiego every time we log into here. What is next? You look like you have. Speaking of eggs, look at those lamps.
Oh, I know. They look like they do look like eggs with squares on top.
They're like Easter decorations.
They're the ugliest. I almost said eggs. They're the ugliest lamps I've ever seen.
Hideous. So you're in Reno. Whereabouts? In a casino? Like,
yeah, I'm at the Grand Sierra in Reno, Nevada, which is like 4 blocks from the airport. Like,
that's convenient.
There was a car that picked me up from the venue, and they're like, "All right, let's take you to the venue. We're here."
So 1 second. What have you said on your Zoom? It feels like you're coming in like Pacino.
I'm.
Are you between 7 and 6?
Yeah.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't.
And by the way, what does Pacino come in as?
Well, I'm just referencing that Dane Cook joke where he works the Burger King drive-thru.
But Pacino's not in there at all.
Yeah, he goes easy there. My ears are bleeding, Pacino.
Oh, wow! You picked the least reference.
I'm sorry, Chewbacca. No.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
Vegas is like that too. Have you ever been there? The airport is right next to the hotels. Like,
I've been to Vegas, and every time I'm there, I think about when you lived there and how sad you were.
That's what I think about too.
And but yeah, I'm in Reno for just today, and I leave tomorrow.
That's great. Yeah, something's up with your mic. I'm sorry, man, but
Here we
really
go.
distorting. Okay, let me ask you this: on your Audacity, if you open it up, is it maxed out?
Yes. Well, I had it minimized.
Okay, is it like
now it's not. Now it's not.
All right, yeah. Okay, what's the levels at now?
I have it between 6 and 5.
Okay. All right. I don't know what was going on there.
I don't know either. I have the same setting every time we talk. I think
it's your mic. I don't know.
I do nothing different.
Okay.
I don't understand why it's every time we have to fix my mic.
I don't know either. But it was distorted. And
I believe you. I believe
sometimes
you.
I'll turn down mine too. All right.
But
I'll cut that all out.
Okay, good.
Or we can restart.
No.
We can restart.
I don't have time to restart.
Oh, I thought you had till 5.
We'll get into one of my lead topics here if you
yeah,
want.
Let's do it. Okay. So you're in Reno, Nevada. I thought Vegas was depressing until I went to Reno, and I was like, oh my God.
Oh, you've been here.
No, I'm joking.
Well, you seem to have nailed it because
oh, I know all about it.
You know all about it. I completely spaced when I scheduled with you that Caitlin's family is coming.
Really?
To this show.
I always forget that the northern part of Nevada is like California world.
So do I. So Caitlin texted me. She's like, all right, they'll be there at 12:30. And I was like, oh my God, that's right. So after this, I'm hanging out with her family.
Okay, they're meeting you right at your hotel.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's Reno. That's all that. This might as well be City Hall.
But what if we go a little long? What will they do? Just circle around the block?
I would assume we won't go a half an hour long.
Okay, well, I'm miscalculating time here.
That's the thing. The time difference. I'm like my microphone. I'm all disordered. And
You're high, you're low, you're on drugs.
between 5 and 6. Yeah, so I'm a little anxious because
Between
There's-
5 and 6 is how many teeth people in Reno have.
that was Andrew Chavone, everybody. That was Andrew Chavone.
I don't think we have any listeners. I checked the stats. No Reno people.
Well, maybe after tonight.
Okay. Well, if you laughed at that joke, you'll love the podcast.
That's true. But I'm a little anxious because there's not much to do. I'm at a casino. What am I going to be like? Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Palufo, let's. You want to play the penny slots or blackjack?
Okay. Well, I can answer this. So when I lived in Vegas during my most depressing time of my life,
Yeah.
My dad and my brother came to visit me.
Wow.
We went to the buffet and just hung out there for like 3 hours. I mean, they're both like me. They love food and they love a deal. So
I just pictured 3 versions of you sitting around the table going, "Oh yeah,
oh yeah,
oh."
more shrimp, please.
And then all 3 of you sitting there after being full, just eyes bugged out, going, "Oh man,
Yeah, so that eats up time too. The being full
the
time.
eating."
Well, first the eating, and then being so full that your eyes roll in the back of your head and you forget where you are.
All right. Well, I don't. Here's the thing I have a little anxiety about, and I want to quickly shout out. Dr. Deb is with us.
Oh yeah, well we're gonna shout her out in the intro too. But yeah,
yeah. Thank you for being here, Dr. Deb. But here's one of my big things: is like anytime someone comes to visit me, I always think that I'm not enough. You know what I mean? Like they're coming to see me, but I'm like, no, we got to go to this thing, because I never feel like I'm enough entertainment for the people.
I feel like that too, especially in the days of Zoom, where I'm like, we could have just been. If you just wanted to talk to me, we could have did this online. You didn't have to come here. You could have just zoomed me for 7 hours or however long you're here.
Right, and they're literally coming to see me do stand up, which is me talking.
But you did that. They've done that before, right? They've seen you live.
Yeah, and I know they like my stuff and think I'm funny. But when I'm off stage, I'm like, why would you want to hear me talk? And it's like,
but you're also bearing the lead here. Aren't you opening for Brian Regan?
yeah.
So they're seeing him too. It's not like,
yeah, I know that.
well, I'm just saying it takes the pressure off of you. They're seeing him.
Well, what I'm saying is I don't feel pressure on the stand-up portion. I feel pressure on the hanging out before. I want to make sure they have a good time. And
they're seeing him. That's a good time. That's all.
I got you.
They're seeing him. They're at least they're doing something.
That's true. They're going to be watching Brian and going, "Wow, this is way better than hanging out with that weirdo earlier."
We don't even have to talk back. Just be quiet. Let him do all the talking.
I love her family very much. They're great people. I just always worried I'm a bore, and it doesn't matter who it is. It could be my own family.
Yeah, that's a lot of pressure. I mean, to reduce the pressure, it's not your town. You don't know. You're not the mayor of the Reno.
That's
you don't know what's going on. Reno to me is just a punchline to jokes.
That's true.
Like it's a funny name, Reno.
Yeah.
It's not really
Keno and Reno.
It's just like one of those things like Albuquerque, like, oh, I just ended up in Reno for a night. And then I don't get a laugh.
Albuquerque was always the Bugs Bunny punchline, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I got lost halfway to Albuquerque. But I think that he got that from like vaudeville or something. I think it's just a funny word. And then the Simpsons had Krusty the Clown, and he went through a funny list of names, and it was Cucamonga of cities, and that was his advice to the clowns to how to be funny, was reference funny names. But I think Reno should be one of them. It's a funny, but that has nothing to do with them visiting. But that was just my own thoughts of the name of the town. But
No, you're giving me some things to talk to them about. Hey, let's go through a list of funny city names.
That'll eat up 10 seconds.
Yeah. And then I'm like, oh, let's go to the buffet.
I would seriously be like, I don't know the type of people Caitlin's parents are, but if they're like her, I think they'd enjoy a buffet. I don't know. She seems to. Wouldn't she like the buffet?
Yeah, I mean, everybody. I mean, that was the most like down the middle thing you could have said. Who doesn't like the buffet?
I think some people. Maddie doesn't like the buffet.
Really?
I made a joke about it where she just went for the potatoes, the rice, and the beans, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" I think I talked about it on this podcast.
Oh, that's right. Most people love a buffet.
Yeah, it's if you're the type of person that knows how to work the buffet, I think you would.
Knows how to work it.
Yeah, get in the shrimp and the steak.
It's not the catwalk.
The one that people I get to keep getting up and getting more stuff. That's working the buffet to me.
Sure.
Not filling up on the bread, not filling up on the whatever.
Fair. Well, they're good people and they're very funny. So I'm sure we'll make fun of whatever's going on and make it work. They're just as entertaining as Caitlin is, but I'm just worried about holding up my end of the entertaining.
Well, I think the buffet, and I hate to go back to this buffet, but
man, you're really getting all you can eat out of this buffet.
As a strategic, nervous person, I feel like it's a good, if there's an awkward silence, hey, I'm going to go up and get more.
Yeah.
Well, this is a good time to leave.
That's a funny sketch. Is the guy with social anxiety? By the end of it, he's like the size of 500 pounds because he kept leaving to get.
He kept leaving. Just circles around. His plate is like Scooby-Doo height.
Oh man, Leaning Tower of Cheesa. Oh man.
Yeah.
So that's all. That's the only thing that's really making me anxious today is just making sure these people have a good time. I like them, and I don't want them to be like, why did we even go? Caitlin wasn't there.
So they're here at 12:30 your time. What time is the show?
They're going to the late show.
So but you have two shows?
I have two shows. So at 7:00's the first show. They're going to the 9:30.
So what are they going to do while you're doing the 7?
I don't know. That's all I'm trying to do is make sure that them being alone at the 7 is not more entertaining than being with me beforehand.
What I really, I mean, they're adults. They can figure out something to do.
I know. But
that's what I would do, man. I would be like, hey, you guys want to eat? Do you get any vouchers because you're in the hotel or you're part of the entertainment?
I get a voucher, and I'm here for 2 days, and obviously this is day 2. $75 for the whole time I'm here.
For the whole time for both days? That covers both days? Well, Reno, I guess your money goes a long way. It's like pesos.
Yeah. I'm trying to peso myself. But
that's $75. That's for Friday and Saturday?
Yeah.
Man, high roller.
I'm like, all right, I guess I'll have the saltines.
Yeah. You eat at a restaurant and you get the to-go box. You're like, can I put my butter and a couple of salt packets in here? I'm going to have to really stretch this budget. Can I get more free bread?
I mean, I'm doing better than most people. They would print it and gamble with it. So.
Oh, you can use that $75 at the casino? Oh,
I'm joking.
You put a burger on black.
I've got 3 corn dogs on red.
You're at the craps table. You throw in some fries. You're like, come on, 7.
I want 7 fries. Oh man. Yeah, so I'm trying to stretch this dollar. I went to the breakfast cafe, and
I bet that's really an exciting place that makes you not depressed at all. The breakfast buffet in Reno.
I've never been excited for a flight.
A flight? What do you mean? Oh, a flight home.
I am having fun here, but I'm more excited about the company on this trip than any other trip because I'm like, there's nothing to do.
Well, did you hang out with Brian last night?
Yeah, we hung out. It was real fun. We went to dinner and
cool.
hung out. It was a good time.
Two shows last night too?
No.
Okay.
I always come in a day early. That's how he prefers it.
Yeah, but I thought you. This is your second day here, so you came in a day early, and then the shows are just tonight.
Right.
That's crazy.
Yeah. If I had 4 shows, I might have gotten a whopping $150.
Well, I guess that makes sense then. That they only
Yeah.
got $75 because you just performed one night.
Right.
But yeah, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I would do a buffet in like a museum or whatever. They probably got some weird thing there with the largest ball of twine. You just stare at it for an hour.
You guys want to count the twine?
Man, this really passes the twine.
I got too much twine on my hands.
Twine is on my side.
We're all just killing twine. What's going on with you? What's been bothering you?
So you've been out of town. So this is the first week in New York City where mask mandate's over. There's no capacity requirements anymore.
Really?
It's,
full.
Yeah, it's packed. It's crazy. I'm not exaggerating. It's like people are packed into the bars, packed in the restaurants. They're supposed to have like a 6 feet requirement, but if you mandate that only people vaccinated are in, then you don't need that. For some reason. So,
and isn't tonight your first show in front of a vaxxed crowd?
Well, in front of a mandatory vax crowd, yes. But I did a couple shows this week where it was that there's no one cared. I don't know. I did a show in a basement and there's people in there without masks.
Wow.
It's weird walking into a place without a mask. It feels very unsettling. And
yeah, the whole casino I'm at, no one's wearing a mask.
Well, they weren't wearing that in last May. But it feels like we're so conditioned to protect ourselves that you kind of still want that safety blanket over your face, even though you technically don't need it. But
right.
But I've been reading people who got the vaccine could still get it. It's just not deadly anymore or something.
Right. Correct.
And then maybe these don't. I don't know, but it feels so weird. I did a show in a basement on Thursday where it would feel like a super spreader event or something. I don't know. Even though there's only 5 people in the audience who came, but I feel like there's no circulation of air here. No one's wearing a mask, and then we're just drinking beer. I don't know. It felt like old times.
Wow.
And this is what I wanted to talk about, but I feel like everyone is so unadjusted socially, including me. I don't know how to get out of conversations because they're so new. And I had a hard time before the pandemic, but now it's like so bad.
Right.
Literally, there was the guy on the show who runs the show on Thursday. He was just like, "Hey, let's catch up," and I'm like, "Okay." That was probably at maybe 8:45. We didn't get done talking until 12:30 at night.
Oh my God.
12:30. My legs. We were standing. So I had never stood that long. And I've never talked that long. I was completely mentally exhausted. And I still couldn't get out of it. I still was like, the bar had to be like, you guys got to leave. We're closed. Like the bar, I was like, thank Christ, I can leave now.
And he's like, you know what's not going to close? Outdoors.
Yeah, right. He's like, so you want to come back to my place? Talk for another 12 hours?
Wouldn't it be great to see the sunrise?
Right. I was trying to give hints too. It was on him. It was equally as me. I was
what
like,
were your hints?
So where are you parked? Because I'm parked down here. How are you getting home? Okay.
And he was like, "Oh, I don't have to worry about that for 4 more hours."
What are you doing after this? Cool, because I think I'm gonna go home.
Yeah. Hey, why don't we get the hell out of here?
This is a good time to leave. Can we leave now?
I'm done.
I don't know. Yeah, my throat. I can't physically get words out anymore. Do you think that's a good time to end the conversation?
I'll be honest. I was out of things to talk to you about around 9:00.
Yeah, and then I think I was wrapping up, or I was given more clues, and then another guy just enters the convo, like another comedian, and he's like, "Oh, what are you guys talking about?"
Oh God.
Reset button
Yeah.
on the convo.
Breathe new life into it.
I should have been like, oh, hey, man, I'm just getting out. And I should have just left. But I was like, well, I haven't talked to him either. I should talk to him. I don't want to be rude.
You have this with video games. You should have your out time.
Yeah.
When you play video games, you tell me you're like, all right, one more, and then I'm done.
That's true.
You should be doing that with people, going, hey, I wish I could talk to you guys more, but I got to get back.
You mean, oh, I remember what I told you. I say that to the team I'm on in the group chat. I go, hey, guys, this is the last one for me. And then I kind of like stutter steps to the exit. But yeah, I didn't have anything else going on. So I didn't have that. Now I know I should have an out.
You need to make something up.
And you know what? I did have somewhere else to go.
Where did you have to go?
My friend was having a birthday party.
I was there.
Tori Piskin's house?
Oh, no, different friend.
Oh, Sean Donnelly's.
I was at Donnelly's.
Why are you telling me? He wanted to go there. I could have just drove him down there. And
I was waiting for you to show up. I don't know why I was stuck in a few conversations that night, but
he ended up down there. The guy ended up. How long did you stay there? He told me he ended up there to 4 a.m.
Oh God, I'm glad I missed him
because I think he doesn't know how to leave combos. He probably was down there trapping somebody else.
I'm glad I avoided that guy. I was waiting for you to come in there.
Because we went there 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But
I forgot what you asked me originally. But
I didn't ask you. I said you should have texted me. And then I asked you how long you were there. Because I didn't get done talking to him until midnight.
I was there until midnight, I think.
Okay, I would have missed you. Unless I would have got that guy. I should have
pulled the shoot early.
I should have pulled the shoot. Yeah. I should have been like, let's go to this place.
Yeah, well, that's what I did. I was hanging out with people earlier, people I wanted to hang out with, but I was like, hey, I'm going to this thing at this time. If you want to come, feel free.
And then they came?
Only one of them came.
Okay.
But it gave me that out. Yeah, I don't know how to leave still. I'm working on it. But I'm doing better than you.
You're doing way better than me. I wish I knew you were there because I would have told that guy, like, hey, Steven's down there.
Yeah, I know. Well, you got to start coordinating. We're already in an anxiety support group that we created. We might as well start texting.
Yeah, well, I only heard about that party through secondhand people that I was like, it wasn't worth, I don't know. Didn't seem worth going that late to be stuck there more. But, you know, looking back, I should have made that guy go with me earlier. And then we could have talked in the car instead of just standing outside with my knees about to explode.
And you could have, you had more people. You could have faded into the crowd. Like
right, more people would have been involved. Yeah, right. It would have been ideal.
You could have dropped a beer glass and everyone looks, and then when they look back, you're gone.
Yeah, and then like people from the crowd were coming up. Can I get you guys a beer? And I was like, I'm good because I gotta go. And then he said he wanted one, but then they heard me say no, and then he didn't get one. I felt bad about that.
You're course blocking that guy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Beer blockers.
Beer blockers, Bud knows instead of Budweiser. No thanks.
Bud Reno's.
You just added to my Bud nose, but that doesn't make. You made a thing that made no sense make less sense because of Reno. I know, but you added to the Bud nose.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
I guess nothing. I needed the Bud lights off instead of Bud Light.
I just thought of this, which would have been funnier earlier. You can't stand the guy. He was talking to you so long, you couldn't stand.
What's that a reference to?
You couldn't stand. You couldn't. Stand
okay, all right. I thought you were going for a beer.
No.
Michelob Ultra.
Reno Ultra.
Michelob. All right, it worked better there.
See, I play the long game.
Oh man, that's great. Okay, and then here's another thing. Same thing related to the reopening. There was so before this whole past year, I felt weird going to shows because when I'm not booked on them, because you wear the mask, no one recognizes you.
Right.
You just look like you're about to rob the place. Like,
I was just gonna say a train robber.
Right. And then you go to say hi to somebody but they're like, huh? And then you pull down your mask and then you look like you're infecting them. There's like that weird thing. So I'm just like, right. I'm gonna avoid that and maybe, whatever. So now everyone's not wearing a mask. So I've been going to other places and then I'm not used to it. It's
right.
Because when you're not booked on a show, you feel like you're not particularly invited.
Right.
So then you come and then just no one's wearing a mask. Like, so you get the social thing that you're not used to, plus the social thing you never liked, feeling uninvited.
Right.
Magnified by a whole year of not doing it.
Right.
So I was, so I showed up, my hands are weird. I'm like self-conscious about what I'm doing, trying to talk to anybody.
Right.
And then this guy shows up who I know hasn't been doing anything. So I tried to make him feel comfortable. I'm like, hey, hey, what's up, man? How are you? He goes, good. And he just walks in. I'm like,
boy.
He's even weirder. So I'm like, if this idiot can do that, I guess I should do that too. I should just.
Oh, he gave you confidence.
Yeah.
That's funny. He was so weird. You felt normal.
Yeah. This guy should be my role model. The guy who absolutely doesn't belong, but still has the confidence.
He should be your wingman.
Maybe that's what you need, everybody. You just need somebody who doesn't belong more than you. And then that feels...
Oh, man. That's so funny.
Because I hadn't seen him in years. I know he's been disappeared and he just showed up out of nowhere. I know he has no friends, so...
Right, he has a castaway beard and a volleyball under his arm.
Yeah, exactly.
He's like, well, at least I'm not as weird as this volleyball.
Right, maybe that's why he feels more comfortable there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. This week has just been a readjusting phase for me. It's been pretty interesting.
I think we're all going through it, man. I feel the same way.
Yeah. I didn't know you were out and about. I don't know. I thought you'd been out of town.
I was only out and about a little, but then I left. I've been gone every weekend this month. And
that's crazy.
I'm gone next weekend too.
Where are you going next weekend?
I'm on the Rogue Island Comedy Festival.
Oh wow! Oh, that'll be fun. I like that one.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. And
you get a free hotel.
No.
Oh, they cut that out. But you should ask for one.
Well, I already got a place, but
what? Oh man,
you need to be my manager.
Well, maybe he cut that out of the budget because of the pandemic. But
I would assume
what
so.
doesn't make sense though, because it's not like he does the festival every day. He just does it once a year. So I don't know why.
I don't know, but
Whatever. But
too late now. I'm a pushover. But
I got one last year or whatever. I did it, or 2 years ago.
well, I think you're right on the pandemic thing, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyways, we got to get into the topics. We haven't done topics in a while. We got Dr. Deb here. I'm excited. We haven't done this segment in a while.
Yeah, let's bring in Dr. Deb. Hey, how are you?
Thank you for being here, Dr. Deb.
She's still listening.
Happy to be back.
Great. Yeah.
So good to hear your voice.
Thanks. Yeah. Thanks. Can you move the mic a little away from your face, doctor? Because I feel like you're having some kind of drive-through Burger King effect.
He's gonna call you
better.
Yeah, it's way better. Thanks.
Okay. All right.
He's gonna call you Pacino in a couple minutes.
I just got to wipe this blood out of my ear, and then we can resume. What what do you feel, Dr. Deb, psychologically? Any advice for us and people for the reopening without the mask? And I feel like it's all of a sudden it's like a light switch, you know.
Yes, he did say psychologically, but we'll go with psychologically.
I actually, full disclosure, I bit my tongue like eating something, and my tongue is like swelled up. So I've been having an involuntary lisp, which is the worst word to say when you do have one.
Oh boy, what are you, from the Catskills? Everybody's got that joke.
But literally, there should be another word to express what you're going through without having to have.
How about sarsaparilla? That's less complicated.
Shelley on the seashore syndrome.
Yeah, Dr. Deb, what are your thoughts? I just had to roast Mr. Psychologically.
Right.
I got booked in the Catskills in a couple hours. I gotta go. Head up there.
Make sure you use Cucamonga.
Hey guys, what's up with Reno? Right?
Well, I think first of all, it's the process of change. So we're a little discombobulated about the new rules about not having to wear a mask.
Yeah, they should. I think they should have some kind of like button you wear. You know, like the button, like I'm fully vaxxed, or, you know, wouldn't that make it easier socially? Because you're like, who is this Trump supporter, or like, you know, this germ spreader?
Well, we did go through that, I guess, political debate about whether people had to have a card or not saying they were vaccinated. And then it was on the internet about buying fake cards to show that you were vaccinated.
Well, I'm not talking about that. Don't freak people out more. I'm just saying, like, well, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. But what do you feel about what do you do? You know, and there's where you feel like, what's your advice to people who feel uncomfortable wearing the mask or not wearing the mask? I mean,
yeah, well, I think it's a matter of trust that, you know, the other people are vaccinated as well, but it's getting adjusted to the change and getting adjusted to feeling safe again out in the community.
Yeah.
It's a feeling of being unsafe and a little fearful yet.
Yeah, I feel like we got to give it like 2 more weeks and then seeing how it works out. You know?
I guess I think you're right, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. So far, so good though.
It's an adjustment, right? And you know, I don't think we can underestimate the fear that we had when the virus, you know, was at its height. The fear of dying is a deadly virus.
That's true. It's like that trauma in there.
Right. It's a deadly virus, so it'll take a while to trust that we're safe.
Yeah.
Right.
And also, like, I don't know if people are like trying to have an image or put something out there or whatever, but I know the CDC first said if you're vaccinated, you don't have to wear the mask outside, or maybe they said that anyway. people still wear them outside. It's like I go outside, it looks like a Halloween parade. It's like,
Well, there's been too many mixed messages about that.
I agree.
You don't have to wear it. You do have to wear it. Some people are wearing it out of respect for people that aren't vaccinated, just so they can feel safe. And I think people are just unsure of what to do.
yeah, I think that too. And right, I don't know what's going on because I feel weird not wearing it, so I have to put it on. I don't know. We're outside in a park and people are
I've had it where I'm
look like
talking,
Sub-Zero.
I'm talking to
Mortal Kombat.
somebody, I turn my head and they have their mask on again. Like there's so many people that take them on, put them on and take them off because they don't know what to do.
I see that too, and I do that too.
I think we
Especially,
just got mixed messages, and the government, the CDC said you don't have to wear one when you're vaccinated, and then the administration said, well, you do. So people just didn't know what to do.
oh, okay,
Man.
yeah. And then the reporters are still wearing masks. Sometimes I'll put them on, and I'm like, who are you preventing? The cameraman? He's like, what are you doing? I don't know. So yeah, it's all mixed messages. I guess it's going to have to sort itself out. I have a feeling if we go these 2 weeks with gangbusters, no masks, it'll be fine. Maybe it'll be easier.
Well,
But
the idea is that with the vaccinations we have we're building herd immunity, right? So that we get enough people that are immunized, the virus will not spread.
yeah, and I know that if you get vaccinated, even if you get it, the level of virus is so low you can't transmit it. That's why they say don't wear the mask if you're vaccinated. Doesn't mean you can't get it, but whatever. But anyways, we got to get more into mental things. I feel like aside from.
But I think that was a mental thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think whenever we have change, it disrupts our equilibrium, and for a year we've been wearing a mask, so it was part of our our robe, whatever we wore. It was just part of that.
Robe.
Yeah, dress. It was part of our dress. We never went out without a mask for a whole year. So it's going to take a while to reverse that.
Yeah, and it's so funny. Like, I'm in the grocery store, and I still go back to the times. It is like traumatic. I still flash back every time I'm in there to the first weeks of the pandemic, where people are wearing garbage bag suits and they're wearing like scuba masks with like their thing sticking up, and like it was an insane time. And I remember the first couple weeks I'm like looking at frozen pizzas, and then and I see somebody staring at me, and then I leave, and then they come look at the frozen pizzas. Like they couldn't even be in the aisle with me till I was done browsing.
To be fair, nobody wants to be caught looking at the frozen pizza.
I'm like comparing the price and the ingredients, and they're like tapping their foot. Take out a calculator. I'm like, so grams to pounds. Is this a deal?
The guy's like, it's pepperoni or cheese.
Move on, man. Just get the DiGiorno and leave.
It's not a science experiment.
I'm like, 3 cheese, but what kind of cheese is in this?
Is it really 3? Like, when it melts together, wouldn't it just be 1?
Yeah, why don't they just call it pepper jack? Yeah, so
we could use this experience to change habits, because it took a year for us to develop the habit of wearing a mask.
Well, that's what's so that's what's so upsetting too. But yeah.
So we could think about, well, if I do want to exercise every day, and I do exercise every day, take a walk, for example, it will turn into a habit.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I'll feel uncomfortable if I don't take that walk every day.
Right.
Yeah, right. Okay, so let's get into listener topics here. Do you have them, Stephen?
I got them right here in front of me. This one kind of relates to the exercise thing that Dr. Deb just said. It's a little bit about health and weight. Patrick Holbert tweeted, "My unrelenting sugar addiction and subsequent body changes is making him anxious."
He's just a new dad as well, so maybe.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So Patrick, if you listen, congratulations. And I tweeted this at him. I went through the same thing. I'm hooked on the white stuff. The only solution to me is getting it all out of your house. I couldn't keep candy in my house because I would eat it. I mean, I would eat it all in one sitting.
I know. I saw the snack chest.
Right. I had to give it to you. I'm like, help me.
I was like taking your stash.
Yeah. And then, I still like forget I gave it to you. So I'm like, oh, I could go for some Teddy Grahams. And then there's
well,
none
by
in
the
house.
way, you ate all the Teddy Grahams because there were none in there.
Oh.
So
Well, I did. Yeah, it's crazy. And then I made a stand-up joke about it, but Maddie got all these gingerbread house kits for over the holidays. She got paid to make gingerbread houses kits with families or whatever on Zoom. And then they had extras, so I would legit eat those. I would eat the gumballs and
that seems so sad.
That was my rock bottom, was eating old gingerbread house kit parts. So
I'm Andrew, and I'm a sugarholic.
Literally eating housing materials.
Yeah, the other day I ate some insulation.
People are like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "I thought it was cotton candy."
Oh man!
So let's ask the expert here. What do you think? How do you handle the sugar addiction?
Well, Patrick's in a unique position because he is a new dad. So there is quite a bit of change going on. We talked about change. Also, stress and the whole being new at something. And not being confident in what you're doing. So it creates stress, right? So we do eat with stress. We eat when we don't get enough sleep. We eat when we get bored. And we eat when we just don't want to think about things. So
right.
As we're eating, we're not thinking.
That's true.
So you kind of want to think about, well, what's behind this is, and one of the things with being at home all the time and working on the computer is boredom does set in.
Yeah.
So the eating can provide an activity, but it's also pleasure. It gives you pleasure. So you want to think about replacing that with an activity or with socializing with somebody else. Engage in a social activity.
Yeah, now that it's appropriate, yeah, heck yeah, he could hit us up and we'll go on a picnic.
But you're right about
eat gingerbread house kits.
But you're right about out of sight, out of mind. If it's there, that lizard brain is going to go the path of least resistance, which is from the couch to the refrigerator or to the cupboard and back to sitting back down with the bag of goodies, whatever you have.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a brand that Mars makes.
Right. So if it is there and you know it's there, and what some people do is we're thinking about something. Let's say you're thinking about the cookies that are in the cupboard and you say, I don't want them. I can't eat them. So we start thinking this negative trend and start telling ourselves what we can't do. right? And it builds up a lot of anxiety. And one way to break that anxiety is to do what? Is to go get the cookies. I have to stop thinking about this. It's driving me crazy. Or I'm going to eat the cookies if I want to. You know, I'm a
Right.
grown up. I can eat it. So we argue with that lizard brain and take charge.
Man.
And then it's like, well, you know, this is pretty good. I shouldn't have eaten it. So why don't I just finish the whole thing? And then I won't have to think about it anymore.
It also, that provides an escape from the guilt of having eaten all that.
Right. Then it's
know.
all gone and you don't have to think about it anymore.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like, yeah, it's like a cycle of abuse, mental abuse.
Yeah. And
Self-
digestion.
Self-mental abuse, you know, and it's that lizard brain. I mean, just think about it, that whole concept of survival. And if the lizard brain wants something, it's convinced it needs it to survive. So you're fighting that that primitive thought process, and
Mhm.
it's a struggle to use the wise mind to put the lizard brain at rest.
Yeah. What about having a what is it called? An accountability buddy who's like, you know, don't eat the sugar. Do you think that makes it worse by them, you know, being told not to eat sugar? I don't know. What do you think?
Well, AA is one of the treatment that is the most successful for addiction. NA, AA, so that group support and having accountability to your peers is effective, and AA demonstrates that.
Okay, so if you like his partner or whatever.
One thing about it though is that the issue is shared, right? The group shares, so there's this group empathy. So if you're to have a accountability partner, it should be one that shares in the problem with.
Right.
So that you both benefit. It's a mutuality benefit.
Because I was gonna say maybe him and his wife could do it, but I guess if she's not addicted to sugar, it won't really count, right?
Well,
like maybe they both could be like.
I think for them, it's more likely the stress of the new situation and the anxiety of having a baby to care for. It's quite a disruption and an adjustment, and it will really turn their sleep upside down. So they're probably a little sleep deprived.
Yeah.
But it's I was kind of chuckling to myself, because if you look at men who have babies and you get that, what do the girls call it? They're
dad bods.
Dad bods, yeah.
Yeah, I saw those all over Aruba.
So it's kind of a universal experience.
The guys just get fat. I always think it's funny that first the woman is pregnant and has a big belly, and then the guy, she gets rid of hers and he grows his. Like, isn't that?
That's a joke. That's great.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah,
but I was thinking that at Aruba, looking at these big bellies that look pregnant.
When a woman has a baby, the woman gets all the attention, and that it's the women are asked about how they feel. You know, are you tired? How do you feel? Can I help you in any way? But the dad, it is not attended to like the mom.
Yeah, so he's just in the corner eating jelly beans.
Well, he's self-nurturing, right? Whatever feelings he has, it's hard for a man to express them. I don't mean to be stereotypical, but it is. It's hard for a man to express their feelings, because the female is the one that had the baby.
It's a cultural thing.
Went through all the pain and the experience, and another thing is many women, thankfully, are breastfeeding. So that the woman has the baby all the time. So the new role for the dad is a bit confusing. You know, he can carry the baby to the mom, but the mom is in charge of feeding the baby.
Yeah.
So it's challenging for the dad to adjust to the new role and to find their place and to talk about their feelings about being a dad.
Right. Um, all deep stuff here.
Yeah.
We went down a cool
Man.
revelation here.
I never thought about all that when opening Twizzlers, but
Yeah, I mean, I ate a loaded baked potato, but little did I know.
it wasn't that loaded.
Yeah.
We only got time for one more here.
I think we just had one more, but
Yeah.
unless you were trying to.
No, I'm looking
seem like
at
we
it
had more.
right now. Shelly Girl wrote, any movie where people are dangling from a skyscraper makes me anxious.
Oh man, so I wanted to talk about this. Anytime there's like an anxious or not, and no, I don't mean anxious, suspenseful scene in a movie, even when like some guy gets caught doing something wrong and he gets yelled at, I'm like, I'm out of here. I gotta leave. I gotta leave the room.
I know the feeling. I was flying here, and we all know I'm afraid of flying. And I was watching Whiplash, and that's that movie where J.K. Simmons is just yelling at this
He's
band,
violence in that. Yeah,
and it's like, oh my god, this is more stressful than the flight.
Yeah, then if you're on a plane, you can't really get up and leave. You gotta like just sit there and watch the back of somebody else's head rest.
But it did take me out of my own anxiety and put me into the movie anxiety, which I was
know.
fine with.
I always get sucked into like their POV, you know. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a movie, I think Dr. Deb recommended it to me where the guy can't hear or something.
Fundamental.
Yeah, and he's like, you know, he's in a stressful place. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, that was intense movie.
Yeah.
Great movie though.
Also, I just watched this movie. It was pretty like gross too, but it's called Enter the Void, where you POV a guy who dies and then like relives all of his trauma in his life and throughout the movie while he's dead or something. I don't know.
Oh my god.
I was like, this is so brutal. I had to take a shower.
Well, one of the things at home you can do when the movie gets intense is turn down the volume, turn off the sound, because a lot of time it's the music that intensifies the movie, not so much the image, but the sound effects. And that tends to get really loud and vibrate. So you can't hear other sounds, so you feel unsafe.
Yeah, I hate when they like mute the audio and then fade up the music. You know, that's like a trope now, I feel like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh! It's intense.
Yeah. If you observe it, infants that are not cognizant of, you know, the movie, the film part, they hear the music and they begin to get afraid.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember watching scary movies and then, you know, the guy's in the basement and you hear just boom, boom, you know, this music gets scary and the guy's like in a dark basement and you're like, uh-oh.
Then it cuts to the guy and he's playing the instruments.
Yeah, it's just a basement full of pianos.
Boom, boom.
But you know how anxiety is the fear of unknown. So like whatever, wasn't that something?
Well, yeah, I think it's anticipation, isn't it?
Anticipation, right? So if the music's scary and the situation's scary, but there's not actually a ghost or a murderer or a goblin, you kind of like get more afraid because you kind of imagine what's going to happen.
Yeah. The longer it drags out, the more you get to go through the possibilities of what is going to happen.
Yeah, right. You're like, oh, and then it's never as horrifying as what you imagined, but maybe it isn't.
Right. If I were to tell you what happens, it probably wouldn't scare you as much as not knowing.
Right. Yeah, but yeah.
What helps me with those films where somebody's falling off a building is knowing that there's an air mattress right feet under them, that they're not really falling at all.
Right.
True.
It's
Unless
like
it's
staying
an-
at a friend's house. There's that there's going to be an air mattress.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you're gonna wake up with your back problem. Yeah, that's true. It's always keep in mind that they're actors, and it's not really happening. It's not news footage.
Right, right. Although, if you watch Die Hard, that scene where Hans Gruber falls, if you look at his face, it's real fear in his eyes because they didn't tell him they were going to drop him.
Oh man, Hitchcock did that with another movie too.
Yeah.
Where'd it go?
I don't know, but that movie helps when you see the worst green screen of your life. When the guy's surrounded by a
fuzz.
Yeah, fuzz and a black box or whatever, a black outline of his body.
Yeah.
And bad B-roll footage of somebody throwing a camera down a building.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Any other tips about when you're watching something that's freaking you out?
Dr. Deb?
You don't have to watch it. You can like get it.
That's true. You could watch a comedy or something.
Good point. Yeah. Or put your headphones on and play silly music so it doesn't match up.
Yeah, you could play the Baby Elephant Walk.
That
actually might be not the song.
I don't know.
I think that's a sitcom. Where
oh wait, that's Sanford and Son.
Sanford and Son, yeah. I forget what. Just imagine that music.
That would be funny. Somebody hanging for their dear life.
What's that song?
It was the rest of the song.
Oh. I never got that far.
That'd be funny if you show the calls coming from inside the house, and then you hear, "Thank you for being a friend."
Moving on up, up the stairs to kill you.
Oh man, sweet. Well, we got to wrap it up. I got to go make buffet reservations.
All right.
Thank you, Dr. Deb, for being here. It's so good to hear your voice.
Be back. And I'm sorry I missed the episodes where you had that traumatic experience.
Oh, thank you. I'm feeling a lot better now. I'm sure there'll be more for you and I to talk about.
I hope not.
I do too. But thank you for being here. Andrew, you got anything?
No, thank you, Dr. Deb. We'll be back next week with another fresh episode for you all. Share and like and subscribe, and we're gonna put this on YouTube.
It's gonna be great. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Share the YouTube channel, share the podcast, anything you can do. Or our reels are doing good, which is great. But yeah, spread the word.
Thanks, everybody, and stay tuned for the outro.
Stay tuned. Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Panic Attacking Podcast, where we look at anxiety through a comedy lens. I'm Steven Rogers.
Steven, wait 1 second. It glitched when you were saying that, so let's do it one more from the top.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Panic Attacking Podcast, where we look at anxiety through a comedy lens. I'm Steven Rogers.
I'm Andrew Chavone. Thanks for listening, everybody. Thanks for tuning in on YouTube, downloading, whatever you're doing.
Yeah.
Great to be in your earphones.
Are you having indigestion?
Well, I did drink too much coffee just now. I gulped it down. Having a system shock.
Thank you, everybody, for all your continued support. We really appreciate it. And for spreading the word about the podcast. This is a really fun episode. I talk about my worry about being a bore when people come to visit me.
Yeah, that was good. And we give suggestions. And we're also joined by Dr. Deb. I don't know if we said that at the beginning, but she listens to us, talks at the end, gives advice, and we get into listener topics such as the anxiety when a really intense scene is on a movie.
And when you're having a sugar addiction problem.
Yeah. And I also get into social anxiety of readjusting and no mask mandate in New York City. And we get a lot of good advice on that. So stay tuned. A lot of laughs. Join the Patreon. $5 a month gets you bonus episodes and whatever cool content we can think of. And join the YouTube army, which is growing. We put a video on every Monday morning.
Yeah, we're a lot funnier looking than we are sounding. So give it a little look, see. And thank everybody, and stay tuned for the music.
Stay tuned for the music and the episode that follows the music.